We're going to look at our notes now for section 6.2, comparing and ordering fractions, decimals, and percents. It's important to be able to know which number is larger or smaller. So when comparing and ordering fractions, decimals, and percents, first write the numbers either all as fractions, all as decimals, or all as percents. You've got to have them all in the same form. So on number 1, it says which is greater, 25% or 7 out of 25. Well, we need to get them in the same format. Just so you know, fractions is the hardest to compare because you do have to have a common denominator, which in this case would not be too hard. But let's go ahead and divide the decimal, the fraction. 7 divided by 25 gives you 0.28. And as a percent, that's 28%. So now you can compare these, and you can say that 7 over 25 is the greater number because 28% is greater than 25%. On number 2, you've got 0.49 or 94%. You need to get them in the same way. Let's go this way. 0.49 is 49%. And you can compare these now and know 94% is greater. We could have also done decimals and changed 94% to 0.94. Either way works for comparing. So always get them in the same format, and then you can compare them. Here's an example. Your sister and a friend each take the same number of shots at a soccer goal. You make 72% of your shots. Your sister makes 19 out of 25 of her shots, and your friend makes 0.67 of his shots. Who made the fewest shots? So we'd want to go ahead and compare these, and sometimes a number line is really helpful. So, and we also want them in the same format. So let's go ahead and change them all to decimals. 67% is already a decimal. 72% is 0.72. And then 19 over 25, remember this fraction means to divide. 19 divided by 25 is 0.76. So now we can kind of put these on a number line. Here's 0.67, here's 0.72, and here's 0.76. This kind of helps us put them in order. So we'd say your friend did the worst, you're in the middle, and your sister shot the best. But you're all really close together. So number lines are helpful. They're not required. It's a good way to compare. Here's another example. This one, the map shows the portions of the U.S. population that live in 5 states. List the 5 states in order by population from least to greatest. Well, let's write down what we already have here. So we have, let's see, Michigan is 0.03, so that's the decimal form. New York is 6%. So we've done Michigan, we've done New York. Let's do Ohio is 1 out of 25. That's a fraction. California is 0.12. Whoops, that's not a fraction. It goes in the decimal section. And Washington is 1 over 50. And that's a fraction. Okay, so we need to fill out the table, and then we can order these states by population. So let's look at the top one together. Michigan is 0.03. Now I can change that to a percent by moving the decimal over twice, so that would be 3%. And from decimals to fractions, we know that percent means 3 over 100, so we'll just write that here. So now I have it in each form. Go ahead and pause your computer, fill this out, and then turn it on to check it. Okay, 6% I can go backwards. It's 0.06 when you move your decimal. And 6% is 6 over 100, which reduces to 3 out of 50. Okay, now Washington is 1 out of 50. You can go ahead and divide that, 1 divided by 50, or you could times both of them by 2 to get 2 over 100, so you know it's 2%. Move the decimal over twice, it's 0.02. Now California is 0.12, which is 12%. Whoa, that one's a lot bigger. And 12% is 12 over 100. And you can reduce that down because you know that they're both even to start with. But 4 also goes into them, so you can reduce it to 3 out of 25. Now Ohio is 1 out of 25. If I wanted to make that out of 100, I would times by 4, so it's 4 out of 100, or 4%. Or you could have divided 1 by 25. And if you do 1 divided by 25, you get 0.04, which is also 4%. So now we can compare. It's difficult to compare fractions unless you get a common denominator, so let's not use that. We can compare with either decimals or percents. This one might be easiest. It says to list them in order from least to greatest in population. My least populated is 2% here, so I would say Washington. And then next I would look and see that I've got a 3%, and that's Michigan. Let's use their initials here. Then I've got a 4% in Ohio. And then I've got 6% in New York. And finally, California, no surprise, that is your largest. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is getting these things in order. And so your homework is on page 224. You can look at your guide and know which homework assignments you need to do. So take a look at that and get that done. And we'll see you on the next video.